Hey everyone, and thanks for jumping back into the cryptoverse. Today, we're going to talk about Bitcoin. What is the fair value? If you guys like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and also check out the Telegram channel, which you can find a link to in the description below. Now, talking about the fair value is certainly a testy subject. And if you remember back to 2019 and 2020, we spoke about the fair value all the time. We spoke about it though, we can speak about it in two separate definitions, okay? And therefore, you're going to get two different answers. Doesn't mean that either one is more correct than the other. It's just up to your interpretation which one you prefer, okay? And it also sort of depends on the state of the market at the time. So the first way we'll show, and we've shown this many times on the channel before, is to show the fair value according to all data. And if you guys follow this channel, you guys know I'm a big fan of using logarithmic regression bands to model the price of Bitcoin. The reason we use logarithmic regression is because we basically assume that as a function of time, Bitcoin experiences diminishing returns. And if it does experience diminishing returns, then logarithmic regression is really the way you want to go, because what logarithmic regression does is it basically shows you that the more impressive gains happened earlier on, and then as you go through time, the gains aren't quite as good as they were in the past. It doesn't mean you can't make money from Bitcoin, but it just means that it's probably not going to go to as high of the valuations as you perhaps once saw. So according to the fair value fit to all data, so we're not being, we're not treating any data differently than any other data, but just taking it all into account, the fair value according to this fit is approximately $32,885. So right around $33,000 is the fair value of one Bitcoin according to a logarithmic regression fit to all data. Now, that doesn't mean that we can't go below that level. I just thought it was interesting because we went down to that level today. You can see that we went down to around 32,946, and the fair value is around 32,885. So that's what the logarithmic regression band would say the fair value is when you fit it to all data. Now, you do spend periods where you're over the fair value and under the fair value. Doesn't mean that if you're over it, it doesn't mean that Bitcoin is necessarily worth that amount. Like if Bitcoin's at 68K or something, that doesn't mean that that's the fair value. It just means that that's what the market maybe perceives as the fair value, and it's part of this bubble phase. And during bubble phases, it's hard to really have any sense of rationale at the time. So technically, I guess during if the market values it like at that level, then you could argue that it's the fair value. But when you sort of zoom out and get your head out of a bubble, then you can see, okay, well, this is the fair value line. By the way, the fair value when Bitcoin was at 20K in 2017 was only about $4,000. The fair value in, say, July of 2019, according to this regression band, was around $10,000. And by now, it's around $33,000. Now, this is one way. This is, again, using all data. And then I also wanted to show one more way, which only uses what and a lot of people used to kid me or make jokes about this other one, is the logarithmic regression band fit to non-bubble data, which of course is very subjective, but it was a very rigorous process once upon a time, and it's the green band. And it's basically fit to data that I more or less deem to not be part of bubble territory. And if you're curious, this green band was fit back over, it only included data up until the very first few months of 2019. And so since then, it's expanded out this way. And we actually did respect this relatively well in 2020. If you guys go watch some of my videos, you'll see that we were basically just writing up this logarithmic regression fair value that's fit to non-bubble data. So if you are curious where that one is, it's actually at 19.1K. So the difference is approximately $14,000. So basically the idea is the fair value according to the logarithmic regression fit to all data is approximately $33,000. and the logarithmic and the fair value fit to quote unquote non-bubble data is approximately $19,100. Okay, so a pretty wide range, but no, they are both moving up relatively quickly. And I know that people would love it for these curves to go up quicker and for us to say that Bitcoin should already be at $300,000. But it is a long game, and I think you just need to recognize that Bitcoin is in a macro uptrend, and we are generally slowly trending higher. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think 33K sounds reasonable? Do you think it sounds low? Obviously, I know a lot of people would say 19.1K is low, but remember that is data that is basically outside of any type of bubble. Okay, any type of mania phase. It's completely outside of that. So it's more so you could consider it almost an undervalued Bitcoin. Like, what is the lowest price that you can get it for in say the bottoms of a bear market? And it more or less ranges right around that level. Obviously, you get oscillations, around it, but you spend a lot of the time right around that fair value line. And so right now we're trying to see if we can hold it up here. And if we do, then I imagine we'll make another run later on to the top. If we don't and we come down into this region, then that's about as a good of a buy I think as you're really ever going to get on Bitcoin, is going to the regression band that's fit to quote unquote non-bubble data. But for now, this is what the two metrics say. The one fit to all data says 33K is the fair value, and then the one fit to quote unquote non-bubble data says that it's 19.1K. If you guys like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you next time. Bye.